Hello again. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm Trevor. I'm the narrator of the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn adventure game podcast. If you're not familiar with that and you love Brandon Sanderson, which if you're here I have to assume that you do, you should come check us out on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. We release about an hour long, maybe 45-minute long episode every other Thursday, and we run in two separate groups, one set right after the Cassandra, one set right in the Alloy of Law era. Today, we're going to be doing an unboxing video with the Mistborn House War Siege of Luthadel expansion. This is one that I've been looking forward to since they kickstarted the original game. And so it finally arrived. I thought that we do a lot of stuff with Crafty Games anyway. So this is right up our alley, being one of their Mistborn products and being from them. We might as well get it going. Or get an unboxing video and share our joy with the rest of the fan base. I do want to also take a second to plug Steve Argyle. He is the one who does the background art for our logo, which is this beautiful piece that you can see right here. I happened to buy a playmat of it a couple of years ago at Gen Con, and so I thought it would be a great way to plug Steve Argyle as well, because he does some great work and has been very generous with the podcast. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the Siege of Luthadel expansion. Let's try not to mess up too much of the material here. I think we got a good one. Alright, so first I'll let you guys take a nice look at the box. The artwork is very consistent with the style of the first game. I should have brought that down to have it handy, but that's okay. I can probably do a fake unboxing video for it at a later date if people want to. But the artwork is absolutely amazing. Game design by Kevin Wilson and Alex Flagg. Happened to meet Alex at the Gen Con a couple years ago. I go to Gen Con every year that I can. Very nice, very happy to talk about the game. All of the people over at Crafty are just amazing. They deserve our support, not just because they produce Brandon Sanderson and Mistborn things, but just because they put out a high quality product in general, and they're just really great about connecting with their fans. So there's the front of the box. I'll go ahead and show you guys each of the sides. 3 to 5 players, ages 14 plus, 60 to 90 minutes. Another view of the artwork. And then on the back. I don't know if you guys want me to go ahead and read through all of this, but I don't think I'm going to. You can pause the video or whatever you need to do to get a better look at the back here. I can even zoom in a little for you if it will focus. Well, let's move on. Actually opening the box. This is so exciting. Oh, I've been waiting a couple years for this. I don't remember exactly when the Kickstarter was, but I've been looking forward to this since that time. One thing I do want to say, obviously I haven't had any experience with the expansion pack yet, but what I really enjoyed about the Mistborn House War game is that it really wasn't necessary for people to have played Mistborn in order to have fun enjoying the game. They've created a great game with fantastic mechanics, and that was just one thing that I thought was really nice. I played it with a couple of people who had no idea anything about Mistborn, and they had fun. I had fun with all of the cool flavor. Like, Crafty Games really put some time and effort into making sure that this all feels very authentic. So let's open up the rulebook here. Let's skip 30 pages, so quite a bit. We've got some just quick references on the back. I will flip through quickly. We've got all the components, everything that's new, quick overview. I don't want to spend too long on the rulebook. It's just the rulebook. Not that it's just the rulebook. Rulebooks are probably the hardest part of game design from what I've heard. I tried to create my own micro game, and coming up with the rulebook for that also was very difficult to make sure everything's laid out right and everything. They do a really good job with their rulebooks. I know we've kind of given them grief about the Mistborn adventure game rulebook, but that's just because it's a TTRPG rulebook, and I've never met one of those that is exactly the way I like it. So that's mostly tongue-in-cheek. I have nothing bad to say about anything that Crafty Games does. And it looks like they've actually got some lore stuff in here as well. That's a cool artwork of Vin. Oh, the Rabble Rouser. That's one of the cards that is a promotional that I got at Gen Con from them. Let's go back to the Koloss. So I know it looked like there was a little bit of lore there. It looks like just a basic description. But yeah, that's really nice. They do a great job of making sure that you're immersed. So we've got some additions to the board here. I am not quite sure how all of that will tack on. It's actually been quite a while since I've been able to play the House War game itself, mostly due to COVID and everything. I'm sure that that's been the case for a lot of people and their gaming groups, is that you just don't have as much time to get together, or you're concerned about spreading COVID, obviously, if you're not playing with people inside your own household. I did notice that the Mistborn House War is now an expansion that's available on Tabletop Simulator, and that's something that I'm looking forward to being able to play more often without risking the health of any of the players. So obviously stay safe. I'm not advocating for anyone to break quarantine or anything like that to play a board game. Here we've got some of the tokens. They've double-sided, so that way you can multi-purpose the attack and defender, but also so that way you can keep these secret, I believe. Might not be as important with this one as it was with the loyalty counters in the first game. We've got the base Koloss and Vin tokens, but I believe those are just stand-ins in case you don't have these guys. And let's see if I can't get you to a good view there. It's really hard to demonstrate just how finely detailed these are without me having a little more knowledge on how to focus my webcam and not wanting to shake everybody all around. So this Koloss just is really cool. They've got all of the minute detail in the muscle work. You can see on the back here that it's poking through the skin as if he's outgrowing it. This is a fantastic miniature, and it's just massive. Like, that's really big. A regular D&D mini is, like up to his knee. And then we can compare it with Vin, which is another one that I've been looking forward to seeing. And again, this is fantastic detail work. I don't know how well you can see, probably not as well, but the Mist Cloak has all of the individual tassels outflowing. She's got her twin daggers. Just really great small detail work. The sculptor did a fantastic job. I just noticed there are metal symbols from the Alamantic alphabet set into the base. That's a really great detail. Those are the kind of things that you've really got to, you can't be surprised when you get them from Crafty, because they do it so much. They put a lot of time, effort, and love into all of their products. Their dice, the metal dice are amazing. At one point, I want to buy myself a whole set instead of the 4 that they sent me. But you can just tell how much they love what they do by the quality of work that they've been able to put out. So it looks like we've got some factions here to add into the noble houses that were in the last game. I guess I probably should have talked a little bit about how the game works. So in the game, you are taking the role of a noble house vying for control of the city in the great house war, Deus de Mar from another series. But we've got the Church of the Survivor here. House Set is added, which is a very nice addition after he was added into the story in the second book. The Luthadel Assembly, that's very cool. Once again, advancing the house forward. A new iteration of House Venture, House Lacal, and House Penrod. So those are all awesome. You can see that each of them have their own abilities to keep the game fresh when you're playing a different one, whether it's resources that you're obtaining or cards. So that each different sect gives you the ability to play in a new way. And now we've got problem cards and Koloss Rampage cards and personality cards. Get this baby opened up. I have scissors for this. Now, the problem cards are the main way that the action gets moved forward. You have to spend the resources at the bottom to solve the problem before it gets to the point where it erupts. Once it erupts, you follow the description on the cards. And they do a really great way of simulating the actual problems that were facing the noble houses. I don't think I'm going to go through all of these, but there is a large number of these problems added to the game. We've got some really key things from the books, the deepening, a lot of just escalating tensions from the things going on in the books. Let me see if I can find, Conjure Among Us. That's obviously something that deals very heavily in Well of Ascension. I'm trying not to do spoilers, but it's hard not to talk about Sanderson when you've got a handful of Sanderson cards. Rogue Koloss, that one's cool. Search for the Well, I like the illustration there of an obviously terrorist person. Ska Riots. I said I wasn't going to go through them all, and here I am, almost through all of them. The Battle of Luthadel. That one is the one that when you solve it or when it's discarded, the game ends. But let's move on to another stack of cards. Let's go through some of the personalities. For anyone who might be a fan of the show, at one point I did create personality cards for the original group of Lost Legends. They can still be found on Drive-Thru Cards, I believe is the website that Crafty Games used. I would not recommend using Tajmiel actually in a game because he's a little OP. I needed to rework him, but I had already bought the cards. It's cool. So we've got a lot of some logistics here. Here's Alrion and the sets. Breeze. Not exactly how I pictured Breeze, but that's a good look for him. Clubs is about perfect. Clubs looks just great there. It looks like he's about to take a swing at Spook. Some more coin shots. Demu, Doxin, Elend, Penrod, Ham, Jace Lacow, not quite as balding as I would have pictured. There's the Koloss Horde, Lesser Nobles, a Lurcher, Marsh. Okay, and it's Marsh as an Inquisitor. That's very cool. Obligator, or a Sewer. Is it though? Tell me, Crafty Games. Is this actually Orasur, or are you just pulling my leg? Got political advisors, heirs, informants, rioters, saboteurs. There's Sized. He is looking a little world weary there. Things are starting to get heated for him. Don't judge him too harshly. He can look tired. Spook. Wasn't the needing of having this card. Straff. There's Tensoon. So it was Orasur. Interesting. Tindwill. And the Vin card. That's great artwork for her. Oh, Zane. I like the juxtaposition between the color backgrounds on those two artworks. I probably wouldn't have noticed it except that they got put together in the pack, but you can kind of imagine that the light blue is Preservation's influence and the red there is Runes, and I think that's a very strong choice for the artwork that I appreciate. And then finally we've got these Rampage cards. And these ones will be less fun to go through. You probably couldn't see the artwork that well anyway, but we'll go through a couple of them, just give you an idea of what it will do. I would give you an overview of the mechanics, but I haven't read the rulebook yet. Crafty did make that all available online, and I don't know, there's something about reading a rulebook where I just want to have it in my hand. It's something that I struggle with even playing Tabletop Simulator. So I'm sorry that I couldn't be more informative on the game rules. Maybe at some point we'll play a game on Twitch, or I will find another way to make it so that way you guys can see Lost Legends playing the game. But all of these are just ways to mess with people. Each opponent may take one allegiance token of their choice, discard one of your personalities from play or your hand. Active player discards 2 resources from your house supply to the spoils. So all of these are going to influence the game in some way. And that's the long and short of what's inside of this box. Thank you all very much for joining me. I hope that, if you haven't yet checked out the show, that you check out the Lost Legends of Scadrial. As I said, we release every other week on Podbean, but you can find it on most everywhere that you get your podcasts. We are currently almost finished up with the second season, which is our first group that plays in the Cassandra era. They're doing some exciting stuff to wrap up the second season, really moving that story along. We've recorded a bit of season 2.5 with our Alloy of Law group, and having a lot of fun with that. And so if you haven't checked us out and you're just finding us through this unboxing video, I really hope you give us a try. I know some of the early episodes, especially that first one, the audio quality isn't the greatest. But bear in mind, we're a hobby podcast, first-time podcasters, and I really think that we've managed to improve overall with a couple of slip-ups here and there. But we've gotten almost 50 episodes out now, so if you're looking for content to consume, and especially something Sanderson related, then give us a shot. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you the next time we do something a little out of our playbook like this. Take care.